Everybody, hope you guys are doing well. So, continuing on our journey, now we would be learning about. Uh, so, we were doing with multiplying animation speed. So, we have seen that we can adjust the duration of an animation to make it faster or slower. There is another modifier to control the speed relative to duration. It can make duration faster or slower by a percentage. So, there is some new modifier that is multiplying animation speed. Now, okay, let's see the code. Let's have yes upon. Mm, and then let's get rid of this thing. Okay, we have this. Uh, Missing argument. Uh, does this take like a color or something? Oh yeah, it's color. Yeah, let's make this as yellow. Let's make it. Uh, okay. Yeah, we don't need this. Let's have a button. Button is going to have a text change. And then let's have a circle. Uh, okay, let's don't give it a width, give it a height. Let's add a and then this has to be is on probably. that and then the position is the same. Let's add one more. Uh, and then we need one more thing. Now is the animation, right? Should we up? Okay, let's. Yeah. So now there is one more parameter. Yeah. This is normal. One. And then also wait. Initially, there should be. Wait. Let me. Or duration has to be one. Let's build it again. So this is how you are control. We are controlling the speed. We can add it here. One more. Now you are going to see something about spring animations. There are two spring animations that create very cool effects. They make the view exceed the end state and bounce and then bouncing back and forth until it comes back to rest. It's like a spring, right? A spring vibrates and then comes and stops. So what we have studied duration. Duration is for how much duration the animation should occur. Delay is like stopping the instead of having the animation run instantly after the change, we'll wait for some time and then the animation will have. Repeat is the continuous process. Now, whenever you do a repeat, right? So there is something called as repeat count. So when you suppose if you click a button, what this repeat count is, if you say twice, then you click once, but the animation will happen two times. When on repeat count, what happens is it does something called as an auto reverse, and then again it starts back. Speed is again you can control the multiplier to speed to slow down the animation based on the current duration. Now on a single view learn then we learn scope, right? On a single view we can prevent animation on another modifier. Animations on a parent view will have all effects of our children, right? So the other way to prevent that behavior is to use with animation. That is going to, you can also make animations none, although it appears that there is no animation, but that modifier is still in place. So with what with animation does is you can only target that specific state change that needs the animation instead of having it affect on all the children, right, in a parent children view. Now spring animation, the spring animation adds a bounce to our so we'll see what the spring animation is. It is very subtle. It is used on all the default settings. In the following pages you'll discover the different ways we can customize the spring. Okay, so now let's see. It's very subtle is what it's trying to say. Okay, so let's see spring animation. Okay, it's searching the web though. Uh, this is going to have that. This is swiping the card though. I want to check what this animation looks like. Plain spring animation. So spring will bounce back and uh, this is something we need to understand. Oh, this is used on all by default. It's so when you press it, kind of rotates in that state until it comes to rest. But then it is very subtle. I need I need to check. Oh, you see that it does. There's a stopping something that happens. It bounces and then comes down. So let's see the. Let's create a. And then this is. The color has to be gold, but we don't have a color. I don't think so. There is color called as gold. Let's keep it yellow for the time being. Also, there is that background as well, which has come, right? Yeah. This window key automatically do. Oh, and then this has to be. Oh, yeah, I might change. So it's changing from dot to. Okay. Oh yeah. Uh, that's so we need two things here. Which true then do person dot to dot, and then there is a layer on the back. Okay. Yeah, there is that image which yeah, you'll have to change it. Is it like a, let's see what's happening here. So I have this person thing, and then this has to bring up that image, right? Okay. So this is that toggling. Now what we need is we need an image, right? That is rounded rectangle thing, and then yeah. Don't put an image tag because if it's not a part of our content, then we yeah, let's have a rounded rectangle shape. Okay, let's give this a size and then overlay it. Yeah, okay, let's. It's image. Because this image is going to take entire space. It's wait. Now I have the, and let's give it a padding so that it shrinks. Oh, this is not taking the entire screen. Yes. Okay, let's not add a. Let's add a system name over here. So right now I have this phone, right? And then what I can do is I can add what's happening to it. Let me check. Size is something. Okay. Okay. And then but this has to be there. I'm not able to get the spring effect. Oh, it's, does this position change? Oh, so that it is very subtle. I mean, You need little bit of. So when you make the spring, yeah, now so the thing is the effect is very subtle right now. That's why we are not able to get the exact spring. The more wet, or how you say, there is something called as a dampening factor, right? When you have a dampened spring, it vibrates a lot. On similar lines, you have, so this the reason why we are studying this is because this it's common on all, mostly all UI elements will have this feature. So okay, let's save this. Did I add it? Yeah, let's paste it. Oh, yeah. So there is something called as a dampening factor that we will need to add it, so that it kind of dampens a little bit more. So inside this parenthesis, right, there is some uh, wait, there is, yeah, there's this damping fraction that we have, and that has to be a double. So let's uh, this damping factor is generally 0 to 1. 1 is like being highly damped, and then uh, damping fraction doesn't seem to work though. If I lessen this fraction is okay, this is a state variable and it's controlled by a slider, I guess. Oh. So this is the button, right? Below this button, let's add a slider, and then that slider should, okay. Let's, but there is a binding value, right? So that binding value is going to be, oh yeah, I need to add a state. Uh, so let this be the, uh, yeah, let's just have the variable. Uh, let's bind it over here. So all I have is, I could, modify this thing as, let's see now. Do I have that effect? Oh, you see now it's bouncing, right? See, there was a bounce little bit. The more less I make it, more visible the bounces. Even while closing, it's, oh, see, this is so much. The thing is, there is no state change happening to this text. If you want to change it, you could indicate how much is being. So this is all about that damping fraction. Will it spring? So the word damping refers to reduce the maximum extent of something vibrating or bouncing back. The spring animation. So if there is no damping, the bounce will continue forever. So damping is basically to lessen it and then stop it eventually. When the damping is less, so that there is no stopping force that is going to counteract. So it's going to be keep on vibrating. If uh, the more or the greater the value is, it is going to stop. So if it's 1, then it will just stop. It will be very less. And then there is something called as response parameter as well. So will the damping occur? So you can have one more parameter here. There is something called as response. So will it take fast or will it be slow? Or this has to be as response. And then this has to be again. Does it take? It takes like a value or something. Again, you can change this value as well with the slider change. Let's make it. Then you can change that response. The response parameter is probably the closest we'll get to a duration for the animation. We are hesitant to say duration because there may be other implications I'm not aware of this time. Apple defines the response parameter as the stiffness of the spring defined as an approximate duration in seconds. It's better to use the response parameter here than to use something else. Blend is the number of seconds to which the calculable difference in the change. Okay. There is something called as blend as well. Uh, the duration in seconds over which to interpret changes to the responses value. So there is something called as blend duration as well. Uh, how the response will happen. The next topic is the interactive spring animation. The spring and interactive spring animation is actually like spring animation but has different default parameters. Uh, so it's a function basically. You can see that what do you mean by an interactive spring? So there is something called as interactive spring. I don't know. Interact interactive spring. Now what is interactive? Well, there is one more type of spring, which is called as an interactive spring. If you look at the definitions, you see how it's only what the thing that changes is it's almost the same. So this is another type of a spring where you have a, but what's the difference? Like, as you can see, the response approximate duration in seconds. It's almost similar though. So then you have something called as an interpolate as well. Okay. Now you can do some interactiveness here, drag, drop, something like that. Now interpolate is to insert something within something else. Interpolating spring animation is inserting calculated frames between start and end states of the property that is changing. Oh, you have this interpolation. There's something called stiffness and damping that we need to pass in when we are doing interpolating. The stiffness is to control the speed of the animation, destination or end state. Higher the number, the faster the animation will move. Dampen is the bouncing behavior. Uh, Now there is something called as mass concept. Now what does this? There is some another interpolating spring. You have something called as mass. Larger mass will increase the extent the view extend past its destination because it's going to pull the spring, right? Also, the spring animation is totally how the spring is. You can apply initial velocity, final velocity, a lot of things. There are a lot of other parameters we can do. The spring animation also, like other animation, has options. You can add in delay. Basically, delay is going to wait and then start, right? Then you have that repeat count behavior, repeating animations. So that is like uh, a spring object is this is like inbuilt, I guess. This we won't be using that much. This much is more than enough for spring, I guess, because there is mm, there is not more you need for springs. Okay, the next topic that we have is basically transitions. So this is something uh, during the state change what we can do. So this is going to be good thing. So right now we were not dealing with transitions. We were already dealing with animations, right? So how it moves is we were not controlling that move probably. I guess yeah, we were not controlling the move, right? The ease in ease out used to add like a default behavior automatically to it, and there was no need for us to what do you say uh, we weren't adding any uh, there were no transition control. We were just animating it raw. So we'll see transition control and then we'll go on from there. So I guess that is all for this session. Hope you guys liked it. I will see you guys in another one. Till that time, take care. Bye bye.